if Carter is at number 10, Howie better be sprinting to that podium and making that selection. Because
I mean, imagine for a moment Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, the interior of your defensive front for the next 6 years. Like that, what else do you need? I mean, you're talking about two defensive tackles who are so good at what they do. I'd take it on doubles. I'd split in doubles. Carter, extremely explosive for a player of his size. Got a very good first step. You watch his game against TCU. The line of scrimmage was -2 if you're TCU because he's constantly resetting that line of scrimmage 2 yards deep in the backfield. He gets pressure as an interior pass rusher, as a pocket pusher. I wrote it down. He's a game changer at the defensive line, at the interior defensive line position. Just an absolutely tremendous talent. It's rare. It's a unicorn type of prospect. If he's there at 10, they get 10 minutes in the first round, right? There's a 15. I always forget. Either way, the clock should not get past 1 minute of time elapsed before that card is turned in.
Yeah, if you can find a rare athlete with that level of twitch at that position, with that level of pass rushing ability, man, that's just the engine of an elite defense, man. But
absolutely. And I understand that there are questions about Carter. And I understand that he may slide. And there are rumors and rumblings and smoke about him being taken off some boards and things like that. I don't look at any of that. Like, I don't have the ability to sit down and talk to him. Drew Rosenhaus would never return a phone call of mine in his life. And why would he? So I can't dive into all that stuff. What I can see is between the lines on the field. And what I see is an absolutely, like you said, rare talent, a game-changing type player at interior defensive tackle. He's defensive tackle 1. Like, he might be the best overall player in this draft. Of course, there are other things that go into it. We don't know that. We know what's on the field, and what's on the field is defensive tackle 1.
Let's jump right in. Number 1, that is Jalen Carter out of Georgia. Jalen Carter has special block destruction skills due to his explosiveness and body control. He's got rare athleticism for his size with tremendous strength, explosiveness, and versatility. He's 6'3", and he can consistently get to the quarterback, showing an array of pass rush moves. He's got a lightning quick first step and super strong hands. Carter's elite hand usage, motor, upper body strength, twitch, and balance will allow him to become a potential all-pro interior defensive lineman at the next level.
And it is Jalen Carter, defensive tackle out of Georgia. He is the number 1 guy on all 3 of our boards, and he's the number 1 guy on anybody's interior defensive line board this year. There's nobody else close. He was a 5-star prospect coming out of high school. He's the number 18 ranked player in his high school class. He played basketball in high school, and he was also a weightlifter. He was a rotational player for 2 years before becoming a full-time starter for Georgia in 2022. And then he was named first-team All-American despite missing 2 games. He is 6'3", which is 59th percentile, 314 pounds, which is 74th percentile, and he's 22 years old. In 2022, he had 32 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 3 passes defensed, and he forced 2 fumbles. He also had a 92.3 PFF grade, which was first among Power 5 interior defensive linemen. When you watch him play, you just see he's so good in every aspect of his game, honestly. He's got a really quick first step and excellent body control. He's able to navigate around blockers really well. He's got a really good club/swim move that he uses when he's a one-gap defender as a pass rusher. That's kind of his go-to. Now, you could say he's overly reliant on that. Maybe he needs to develop some other moves, but that probably comes with time. He's lined up nearly everywhere between the tackles, A gap, B gap, heads up on centers, heads up on a guard. He's been all over the place. He handles double teams really well in the running game. He's got a strong anchor there, and he's got a high motor. So there's some things, there's some technical refinement that can be had in his game. He could develop some more counter moves and things like that. But at the end of the day, Jalen Carter is a blue chip player. The question marks all come off the field. There's a lot of off the field red flags. Everybody knows at the combine, there was a warrant issued for his arrest in relation to a car crash. So he went to go deal with that. And then he showed up to his pro day 9 pounds over his combine weight, and he wasn't able to finish his drills. So there's a lot of concerns off the field there. And I mean, we can talk about him and we may try to give it some context here, but at the end of the day, I generally don't take into account medical red flags or character red flags when I do my rankings, because I don't have access to the medical information. I'm not able to sit in a room with these guys and talk to them. So just purely evaluating the player on the field, he's a blue chip player and a slam dunk top 5 pick in this class. Now, whether he will go there or not, I have no idea. And, you know, we could see teams not scared by him at all. We could see him tumbling down draft boards. And I know Dibes and I we were talking earlier, and he said he was going to be mad if Carter is on the board at 10 and the Eagles didn't take him. I don't know that I would be, because at that point, like, if the Eagles have taken Jalen Carter off their board, that's fine with me. I trust them to make that decision, but talent-wise, there's no denying he would be a slam dunk pick. So you guys can chime in here on Carter. That's really all I have on him. I think he's a really versatile player. It's just all about those off-field concerns for me.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier. Mark presented the question, like, which prospect would present the most amount of snaps or touches in the first round? It's Jalen Carter. You look at the need for the Eagles at that position. I see this guy filling right in, 3-down starter from the jump. He's got a lightning quick first step, super strong hands, ridiculous production, excellent versatility, can play anywhere along the defensive line. He can shed blockers against the run. Like Shane said, there isn't much he can't do. His move set is ridiculous. He's got a swim move that is outstanding, ridiculous twitch. His ability to just be a relentless pass rusher on the interior makes him just one of those like future all-pro, Aaron Donald, Warren Sapp-esque guys that can just change a defense and make it go from here to here. This is a major impact player. I have been on the Jalen Carter train from the jump, and if he's just within reach, you know, for the Eagles at number 10, and they move up like 7 to 8 and it costs us a pick, absolutely do it. I think this is a home run selection. I agree, Shane. If the medicals come out and there's like bigger concerns, that is a different perspective for sure. But Jalen Carter, hands down, in Philadelphia would be a slam dunk.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Carter's definitely a top 5 prospect in this class. I have him lower than you guys. I think you guys have him 1 or 2 or 3 maybe. I have him at number 5. But he's very much pretty undeniably a top 5 prospect in this class. I think that I see a lot of Fletcher Cox. A lot of people have pointed to Ndamukong Suh as a college comparison. I think Cox makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. If you look at Cox's college stats, it's kind of similar to Jalen Carter, where it's not as eye-popping as the tape is. The tape is a lot better than the stats are. The athletic profiles are actually pretty similar if you look at some of the traits that Cox and Carter both have. So I think he makes a lot of sense for the Eagles. Cox would be a perfect mentor for him there to figure some stuff out. I think he would unlock Jordan Davis in a lot of ways. But I think Shane put it greatly when he kind of said that if they don't take him, it's for stuff we don't know. And I did have him at number 3, right above Murphy and Tyree Wilson. But I had the same grade on all 3 of those guys. So once kind of the off the field concerns and mainly the conditioning concerns happened in his pro day, I dropped him to number 5. They still have the same grade, so theoretically those 3 guys are in the same tier for me. But that's why I'm slightly lower than on Carter than consensus. But I think he's a playmaker in every facet. You know, he rushes the passer incredibly well. He's really good in the run game, something that a lot of people don't bring up and stuff like this. He's got 4 pass knockdowns in his career. I think he definitely has a knack for that. Throws his hands up, and he's big enough to get his hands up there at 6'3" at defensive tackle. So Jalen Carter's a guy who, I mean, on the field, it's funny. I texted you guys about this today, but I was looking at my scouting reports from December or January where I said feels like one of the safest top 5 picks in recent memory. Doesn't hit the same now when there's obviously the concerns surrounding him that there are.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally lost what I was going to say. I had a really profound thing that I was going to say, but
I talked for too long.
Yeah, as usually happens, I just lost it before I could make it known to people. So we'll move on, and I'll think of. Oh no, I know what it was. I was going to say that whoever his agent is, he should have already fired, because his agent should have told him. Like they knew he was out of shape and he had gained weight by his pro day. His agent should have told him, don't work out. And we're just going to say that with everything that's been going on, you've been dealing with that. You haven't been in the weight room, whatever. And we're going to schedule an alternate pro day a month from now. Like that's advice that he should have been given, because honestly, if he doesn't show, because you look at the NFL, when all the stuff came out about his arrest, people talked about it, but it was like, whatever. But then he shows up to his pro day, 9 pounds overweight. And that's what made NFL teams bulk. That's what they care about. And he could have been protected from that by an agent that was worth his salt. So I don't know who his agent was, but they probably should have fired him after his pro day. So anyways, I think the Eagles certainly have the infrastructure to bring him in regardless of what the concerns are. And I would feel good about it in terms of work ethic, things on the field. Now, off the field stuff, who knows? You never know what's going to happen with that. But